I used to be an adventurer like you, and I took an arrow in the knee.
Hey guys, welcome back. Got another tutorial for you. What we are going to do this time is we are going to build a custom model in Outfit Studio. Then we are going to use neph Skope and chunk merge to apply custom collision to our new model. Then we're going to put it into the game. Big shout out to Jresh Gaming for teaching me how to do the custom collision using neph Skope. I thought you could only use like 3ds Max or Blender to do that sort of thing, but it turns out that it is much easier than all that. Look down in the description for a link to Jresh's channel and give him a sub, guys. He has been doing some great work. So let's get into this tutorial. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be making a custom enchanters workbench. I have a folder here that I made that has a bunch of stuff in it that I pulled from the game, and I have the A.P altar, which is going to be the base for my model. Now go ahead and open up body slide, and then go ahead and open up the Outfit Studio. I'm going to go to load outfit from file, and I'm going to choose A.P altar. And there's our altar right there. Now, this is great, but there's some things I need to do to it. One, I want to remove the points on the sides right here, and these 2 points in the back. And this point right here needs to move over to the center more, which it's not centered. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to remove these points. So up here there's a button that lets you select vertices. So we're going to click on that, and you can see the vertices right there. And we're going to click on the mask button right here next to the pointer. And we are going to make sure our brush size is a little smaller. Yeah, a little more than that. That'll work. So what we're going to do is we're going to get in here and make sure your X mirror is on. And we're going to start from right here, and we're just going to click once and make sure that the vertice is inside the brush. So we're going to click that. There. And we're going to click up, and what this will do is this puts the selected vertices, in this case those, all under a mask. Now I want this one, so you notice how I moved it over, because if I would have clicked right there, if I would have had it like that and then clicked on there, it might have selected that over there. So I didn't want to do that. Now I'm going to go up here and I'm going to click on that. And when you click with the X mirror on, you only need to do one side of these all the way up like this. See how it's mirroring it over on the other side? Just like that. I guess it only selects the vertices on the piece you're working with. Now that looks like it worked really well, except there is the ones on the back. We want to do that. And then you'll see that some of the mask isn't covered, and when you put your mouse over it, you see a little blue dot there. We're going to zoom in inside of the inside of it. And what you're seeing here is inside of the mesh. Now, it doesn't show up in game because it's actually inside the table, but we're going to remove it just to make it so that it's not so and if you see something like that, that is actually not part of that piece. That's part of the table right there. So we're going to ignore that one, and we'll keep moving up here. And now that piece is completely done. Now we're going to do these ones over here. Same process. Just want to go through and mask up what you want to be covered. Now, if you accidentally select a vertice that you put under the mask that you don't want on a mask, you're going to have to redo the mask. You're going to have to clear it and then redo it completely. And what you do is you click on Tool, and it'll say Clear Mask. So you'd actually have to clear the mask out. So we're going to go ahead and select these. Now sometimes the X mirror doesn't work, and you have to go through and select these individually. Like in this case, it's not working to select these both. So we're going to go ahead and get these all selected. And we'll do the back side. And then we'll go inside here and do inside. And make sure all of the ones inside are done. All right, so now that is, those two pieces are put under a mask. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do the other two, and I will be right back. Okay, so we've got these 4 pieces under a mask. Now, to remove these pieces, what we're going to do is we're going to hold Control and hit I. And what that'll do will put everything else except those pieces under a mask. And over here in the meshes box in the upper right hand corner, you go ahead and you right click and you push delete vertices. And that removes the pieces that I want removed. Right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I am going to conform all. I'm going to set my base shape in the slider section here, and then I'm going to go click on File, and I'm going to save project as, and I am going to save this as custom enchanter table 01. I'm going to make that a single weight output. I'm going to copy that 000 so it comes up at the top, and paste that in there, and I'm going to put it to project. We're not actually going to build this in body slide because there's no need. This is just for when we're done with it. If we need to change something, or we need to redo it and modify it or edit it or something, we can do that. So we're going to go ahead and save that. All right, we have that. Now we want to move this piece. We can't move it right now because it's part of the actual mesh itself. So we're going to zoom in here and we're going to click. Ah, see that? That's where you want to clear your mask, because there's something ain't right. Something's a little screwy in St. Louis. Let's see. Let's test this. It's just this one, so we'll delete it. And see, it deleted that whole bottom piece like that. We don't want to do that. So that's why I made the project, because now I load the project and I go to where they're stored in my Skyrim data folder. Tools, body slide, slider sets, and custom enchanter table. This one right here. And I'll just load that back in there. This is why you kind of gotta, sometimes you kind of gotta look at what you're doing. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna take that brush size way down so that only that piece gets added in. Now we can increase our brush size again and continue on with what we were doing, which this is the point where it doesn't X mirror over, I don't believe. No. And I want to go ahead and I want to select, just like I'm gonna delete it, I want to select all the vertices on the piece. Because what we're going to do is we're going to move this piece. So we got that there, and boom, boom, boom. So far, so good. Just like that. And then this last piece up here, we got that there. We missed one right here. Now we need to do the front of it. Like that. And we'll have to do inside too, because we want all to move. We don't want things hanging out inside of it, because it might cause, I don't know if it'll actually cause problems, but better just to make sure you got it done right the first time. We'll go inside here. And we'll make sure the vertices are selected. Over here on this side, you need this one. Now these aren't part of this mesh. These vertices, these are part of the table. So it looks like everything's good there. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go over here in the meshes box, and we are going to right click and choose separate vertices, and it will give you a name for the new shape. So we're going to call this point 01. All right, and that separated that. See how I can make it disappear? Right. So I want to move it. I am not going to need this on. So I want to move it, and I'll just click on my little gizmo tool up here, and I'll just move it into where I want it. And let's go ahead and move it up some, because we can do that and get away with it. We can actually move it up quite a bit, just like that. Now you could take and actually do that, move these pieces and move them up, but I just wanted to do just that one, so that's good. And we'll go ahead and save the project. That way everything's saved just like it is. Now we're going to start our clutter of the table. So we're going to go ahead and open up our folder we made with our resources in it, and I'm going to grab the winner hold symbol, and I'm going to just drag it in and drop it. Alternatively, you can go to File, Load Outfit, click Keep Other Shapes from File, and go to it and add it that way. Just like this. And that will do it too. Or you can just do it the easy way and drag it in and drop it. Now, in the meshes box, I'm going to want to highlight the winner hold symbols pieces. So hold Control so you can highlight them both. Turn on your gizmo tool. And you're going to want to go ahead and move it up. If it starts acting kind of janky, you just zoom out a little bit, work with the mouse wheel, and it'll start behaving itself. So we're going to resize this. We're going to go ahead and use this little box here in the middle of the gizmo tool. That's the resize box. Zoom in a little more. Zoom in a little more. And I want to have that approximately like that. And I want to go ahead and center that up, and then I don't want to put that stuff under a mask. So if you accidentally do that, just go to Tool, Clear Mask. So I want to churn this around so that it's somewhat centered. Okay, that looks good to my eye, just like that. Now I got another piece I want to put in there. This is from, where's this at? This right here. The Apo Dark Pool Free. We're going to go ahead and we're going to drop that in there. And we're going to move that up. And it's, you can see that's kind of huge. That's okay, because we're going to take and we're going to resize this completely. To more what we're looking for, and then we're going to move that down until it just covers the symbol there. Center it up a little bit. Now I can see we're going to take that and move that, rotate that a little bit so everything lines up just like that. I can see that it needs to go this way a little bit, and then over this way just a little bit. Now the winner hold symbol, that can move down just a little bit, and we're going to rotate it a little bit so everything kind of lines up by eye. Just like that. And now I want to go ahead and select all of them so that I can move that whole set over and line it up off of that. And if it does that, what we can do is select that, and then line everything up that way. That way everything's lined up. So that looks beautiful. I actually want this to come over this way a little bit. It doesn't matter if it goes into it right there, because I'm thinking about the collision. So I got the table part set there. Now I want to add this crystal ball. This crystal ball is from Insanity, and we're going to use that. We're going to add that in. And we're going to set that just like that. And I'm going to set that so where it's in the middle, just like that. And then drag that over this way. I can see it needs to go over that way just a little bit. So that gives us a crystal ball. We can actually increase the size of that. Somewhat. There, that increases the size of it, and we're going to move it up. Just like that. That looks awesome. Now it needs, I got a couple of candlesticks here. I'm just going to drag these candlesticks in. Now you can actually duplicate the candlestick in the two candlestick tri shapes in Outfit Studio, but I'm not going to, because and I'm going to move that over to there. And I believe that's kind of in the middle. Just like that. Now, like I said, we can duplicate this, so we're going to duplicate this. And we're going to duplicate that. We're going to call this stick 01. And then we'll duplicate the second one, the 5-6. We're going to duplicate that. We're going to call that stick 01A. Just like that. And then we'll go ahead and we'll select both of those. That way we can move that over. And what that'll do is that'll keep it all on the same line and everything's lined up correctly. Getting it fairly close to the edge like it is, that might be a little tricky, but not too much. Close enough. Good enough for government work. Alright, we got that right there. Let's see, what else can we put in this? What do we got here? Oh, hey, look, we got an hourglass. We're going to go ahead and stick this hourglass in. So we got hourglass and glass right here. We're going to go ahead and select both of those. If it does that and you lose it, just hit Control Z. And then we're going to move that up. That's actually fairly large. We don't need it quite that big. So we're going to go ahead and resize, scale that down some. Yeah, that looks okay. Move that over and put that on that side. And right there looks good. And then we'll move it back. Right, so there's an hourglass there. And now we're going to put a book over here on the other side. I happen to have the Apple book here. The black book. Yeah, that one. And we're going to move this black book up to where it's, well, this ain't the black book. I think it's just a book. It's just a book. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to resize that because it doesn't need to be quite that large. I mean, that's still fairly large, but hey. Yeah, that's still fairly large. We're going to want to resize that quite a bit. Just move that down like that. Now, since it's the Apple book, it might take the Apocrypha book. It might take the, it might have the textures on it. We'll have to look in the meshes. All right, and this here, and we're going to go ahead and move it down until it's right there. And there is, except for one other thing that will make this very unique. I have the skull key from that one dungeon. I'm going to move that in here. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to, first I'm going to pull it out because I think it's, yeah, I'm going to have to churn it. Very touchy. Just play with it a little bit, and we're here. And we want to go up a little higher. And I want it just sticking out, just like that. Center it up with everything else, just like that. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to duplicate. So this will be skull 01. And then the second one will be duplicate skull 01A. Just like that. And we're going to select both of those. And we're going to put one over here. Just like that. And make sure it's centered up. Turn my gizmo off so I can see it. Can actually go over a little bit just like that. And we're going to go back to this one and we're going to duplicate it again. Skull 02. And duplicate the second one. Skull 02A. Highlight them both. And we'll put that over there, just like that. Now let's check on our... it looks pretty even. I can tell right now, though, just by looking at the mesh, or just by looking at it, something wrong. The candlesticks are floating, so we're going to want to go ahead and choose all of our candlesticks pieces. And we're going to turn on the gizmo and we're going to fix those candlesticks. That should be about right. Yep. Alright, nothing's floating. The book's now floating. Everything looks good. So that looks good. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to save project as. And it will already be set up. So I'm going to click on to project like that. And I'm going to save project as. Just like that. And that is what the custom model is going to look like in game. So what we're going to do now is we are going to export to a neph. And this will go, I have this, you put it wherever you want. I have it here. We're going to call this custom enchanter bench 01. And we will hit return. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to close Outfit Studio. Close body slide. Here's our mesh right here. These are Skyrim special edition meshes, so they open in pre-alpha 6. Skope pre-alpha 6. We'll open that up. And taking a look at it, everything looks okay. Now, everything's where it's supposed to be. Like there's nothing like laying on the floor here. But you can see that there's green collision meshes hanging out over there. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to fix that by doing our own custom collision. So what we're going to want to do is first we're going to want to make a folder here, and we're going to call this folder optimized, and then we're just going to make a new folder next to it. Doesn't matter what it says. And we're going to take the custom enchanters bench. We're going to copy that. We can close that. We don't need it right now. And optimize, we're going to paste that in there just like that. Now, we could do this strictly in pre-alpha 6, but I find that it's easier to do this in pre-alpha 5 because of the way the transform tool works. So we're going to open up Skyrim neph optimizer, and we're going to optimize it. We're going to go to the optimized folder that we just made that has the mesh in it, and select folder. And then we're going to click on the little button here down here in the bottom right hand corner. It says LE. And we are going to hit it a couple of times, and it's good. Now we're going to open that up in Skope pre-alpha 5. And it'll say MDS hashtag comparison, blah, blah, blah. That's okay. That's okay. Just go ahead and save it. That way it'll be all right. Now this is in pre-alpha 5. This is what Legendary Edition uses. And you'll see the yellow right here. That's what we need to fix. So that is our original. Let me open that back up. This is our original model. And what it is for this here, each one of these is a tri-shape, and you can see that it has points to the textures. When I do hourglass here, it will point to textures in Orstay's, the Witcher decoration hourglass, which is fine. When you export the model, you just make sure you have those you have those textures in your Skyrim data folder, in your textures folder, and it'll export fine. But this is for like the Sovngarde candlesticks. These are vanilla textures, obviously. Textures, clutter, Sovngarde, and then it's got that. And that's supposed to be like that. So that's okay. We are going to take and we're going to copy that. And we're going to open up this new folder. And we're going to paste that right in there. Now you don't need this one right now. So we're going to drop that down, because we're going to open this up. We're going to do now we're actually going to do the custom collision. We're going to open this up, and we are going to go ahead and first thing you want to do is remove the BSX flags. Go to block and remove branch, and then you're going to want to click on the BHK collision object. You're going to want to remove that. This BS value node, you're going to want to remove that. And then in each one of these tri-shapes, you are going to want to just remove the BS shader lighting property. Block, remove branch, because what we're doing is we're basically stripping this down to just the tri-shape data. We don't need none of that. So we're going to go ahead and we are going to strip this down completely. And you want to do this for every tri-shape. If you've got a lot of tri-shapes like I do, this could take a little while. And if this is a good example, here where it says the glazed jug, which is actually, I think it's the hourglass. It has a neph property. You need to remove that too. Remove branch, and then it's probably got another one. Nope, it doesn't. Remove branch, remove branch. There's one right there. So we're going to need to remove that too. That neph property. Remove branch and remove branch. There's one right there as well. Another neph property that we're going to have to remove. So yeah, basically you're just cleaning this all up completely, except for the tri-shape data. Okay, that's all done there. So basically what we're left with is all the tri-shapes. All the tri-shapes have the tri-shape data. So that's everything there. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to save that just like it is. All right, now we're going to make our collision model. What we're going to need to do is we're going to need to rename these tri-shapes. And the reason I use neph Skope pre-alpha 5 for this, because when you go to transform and edit, you can rename the tri-shapes here. I have a text file with the name that I need to use here. I'll take and I'll put this in the description of the video. So we're going to copy that. Now, if you're doing it in pre-alpha 5, you can do it like this. Hit edit and go like that. And paste that in there like that. And that will change that. Now, for the next one, I'm going to show you the way to do it if you're using like pre-alpha 6. You click on the block details, go to the name, you right click, and you go to edit string index. And you want to go ahead and highlight where it says 0.01, and I can just paste that in there. And that does the same thing. But I use pre-alpha 5 for this because it's just easier for me. Some people might find it easier to do it that way. You know, whatever works for you. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to rename each one of these with that particular name, just like that. Now, this is the model that I just saved, that I had stripped down and just saved, and we're going to actually save this as something else. So, don't get excited. So we're about halfway through this. I'm going as fast as I can, so I figured I'd show you all this, so just in case. We can go through and we are going to do all these. So I will see you in just a second while I finish these up. Okay, I have it all all fixed right here. So what I want to do is I want to save it, click on the save button and save as, and it'll put it back in the new folder here. This is the older one. This is the first one we saved. So this one we want to rename this to rename it to anything, but we're going to go ahead and just put a CC on the end of it. You put AA, whatever you want. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to save that. And we can go ahead and close that down. So now we have these two right here. So what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to go ahead and open chunk merge. And we're going to open this folder, this new folder right here. I'll show you the first one here, the neph file for Skyrim. And delete or open, and it's new folder, and we want to choose the custom enchanters mesh. That is the base model. Our collision file, we're going to open this up. That will be the CC one we just made, just like that. Now you're going to want to click on name of tri-shape. When you do that, it's going to go collision fallback mesh. It's going to change. See how it changed? Now you want to click it back up to collision fallback mesh and convert, and it'll say neph file converted successfully. So that's good. And we're going to exit that, and we don't actually need this one anymore, the CC version. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to delete that so we don't get confused. And we're going to open this up in neph Skope pre-alpha 5. And you can see that the green lines is the collision. That is our collision. That's all in the when I click on the collision here and I go down here, click on rigid body and oops, click on collision, still didn't do it. There. The yellow, all of the yellow is all collision. So it's got collision set up for it. But now we still have to do some work with this. So we're going to get into that. Okay, so we're going to actually do the collision on our mesh. So go ahead and open up the where it says collision object over in here. We're going to want to open this all the way down till we see the value here. We want the BHK compressed mesh shape data. Then down here in the block details, we'll go down till we find chunk materials, which is right here. And we're going to open that all the way up. And then our materials, we're going to open this all the way up. And in the drop down menu, this is where you can set the materials. Basically what the materials, when you set the materials like this, when you hit it with like your sword or something, stone, stairs, ice, that's the sound it will make. That tells the game what sound it will make. In this case, since this is pretty much a stone altar, so we're just going to click on stone, and that's good. Now we're going to go up to the BS fade node 0 at the top, and we're going to right click. We're going to go to node, and we're going to go to attach extra data. A list will pop up, and you're going to want to find BX BSX flags, and we're going to click on that. Now you'll see down here the block details changed. We're going to open that up and we're going to add 130. Some statics are 130, integer is 130, some are 194. Refer back to your original mesh. Our original optimized one is right here. We're going to go ahead and we're going to open that folder, and we're going to open with neph Skope execute, just like that. And we're going to click on BS fade node. We're going to open it up. We're going to look at the BSX flags, and we can see that it is 130. That's the original. So that's good. So we got that. All right. Little side there. So anyway, our integer is 130. So our collision is all set up. Now we're going to move on to our textures. Okay, I have the model with the collision that I made right here. On the right side, this has no textures. As you can see, it just has a tri-shape there. So we're going to want to open up the original optimized one in the optimized folder. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to open that with neph Skope. Drop that down, and we're going to make that a little bit smaller so we can work with it. So we got them side by side. Open everything up, and what we're going to want to do, we don't actually need the preview window on this one because we're just working in the text box. So you see these, how everything is marked correctly here. So we're going to go with 7 Apo Alter, and what we're going to do is we're going to open this up, and we're going to highlight the BS lighting shader property. We're going to go to block, and we're going to copy the branch, just like that. And then we're going to go over to our new model. We're going to highlight the knee tree shape. We're going to right click, go to block, paste branch, and that's going to put the textures in. Now the next one is the 0.01. That's the point that we made in that we separated. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to paste branch in there, and it's the same thing all the way through. Copy branch. The next one is the winter hold symbol, and we can go ahead and we can just paste branch in. We don't have to open it up like that. Copy branch. Some of these you don't have to open up. Some of them that have the knee alpha property you do have to open up. I'll show you that in just a second because it's this one, I believe. Yeah, no. So we're going to copy that branch, and we're going to paste that into our new model here. Okay, the glazed jug is the one that has the knee alpha property. So you want to first copy the lighting shader property here. Open this up and paste this one in. Now if it has a knee alpha property, we're going to need that too. So we're going to go ahead and block, copy branch, and we're going to paste that in right there, so that's in there like that. And then the next one, copy branch, and you have to do this for every single tri-shape. Paste branch, and you go through it all. Now remember, if it's got a knee alpha property, like some of them don't, like this hourglass, I believe it's the hourglass. Nope. Some of them have NE-alpha properties, so remember to, if in your original it has a NE-alpha property, remember to paste that in to the right side. All right, I'm going to go ahead and finish this up, and then I'll be right back with you. Okay, I actually screwed this up when I was recording the video, so I'm going to try to narrate this as I'm going along. Go ahead and close your original mesh, and then your new mesh with your collision. We're going to go ahead and expand that a little bit, and we're going to maximize it. And what you're going to want to do is you want to click on spells, and you're going to want to go down to optimize, and you're going to want to choose the first one. And then you're going to go back to spells, go back down to optimize, and you're going to want to reorder blocks. And we'll open that up. You can see that the blocks have been reordered. So we're going to go ahead and click on spells again, and we're going to go to check links. There's no errors, so we're good. Now we're going to go to batch, and we're going to do update all tangent spaces. So that's good, and we'll go ahead and save the mesh, and it is good to go. So now we're going to go ahead and reopen the folder, and we are going to copy our new mesh, and we are going to paste it in to our optimized folder, overwriting that one that's in there. So that's good to go, and we're going to open that in pre-alpha 6 or pre-alpha 5, I'm sorry. So that's all good. Now what we're going to want to do is we are going to open Skyrim neph optimizer. We'll close that, and we're going to find our folder that says optimized. It takes a second here. We'll look, and right there it is. Okay, yeah. And we're going to hit that, and we're going to make sure it's on SSE and hit optimize. I usually hit it a few times just to make sure. That's all good. It's done. Now we'll open the folder. Now we'll open this in pre-alpha 6 and give it a second. There it is in pre-alpha 6. Everything looks good. All the collision is correct. Everything's good in the blocks. So that's all good, and we'll just go ahead and save it to make sure. And that's all good. So you can see everything's got collision. So we're going to go ahead and we are going to copy that. And I'm going to open up my Skyrim data folder. And I'm going to go into meshes, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put this in my WS folder, because I'm going to use this as a resource in my upcoming world mod that I'm going to make. And we're going to stick that right in there. So that's all good. And that's about it. Now we're going to go into Creation Kit, and we are going to put it into game. Okay, here we are in Creation Kit. I got my tutorial test cell all loaded up. Now, I actually screwed up. This is the second time I had to record this because I screwed up the first time and my mic wasn't turned on. Alright, go ahead and click on static. It doesn't matter. We need any static object. We'll name this 000M9 underscore cust enchanting bench 01. And then we will go ahead and click on the edit tab. Click on the edit tab there. Go into our Skyrim meshes folder, and it's in furniture, and it's right there. And it shows up there. So okay, make a new form, yes, just like that. And a little setup here. I'm going to click on furniture, and I'm going to type enchant into the furniture, because what I'm going to need is I'm going to need a crafting enchanters workshop table. So I'm going to open that up, and it's going to say that. Don't worry about it. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to rename that 000M9 underscore and that. And I'm going to click is marker. So and that will do that, and that gives me that right there. Now I'm going to click on container because I'm going to add some custom containers in here. I did a tutorial on this already, so I'm going to kind of fly through this. I'm not going to really explain it too much. 000m9 underscore invis chest. Just like that. I'm going to click off the respawns button there. That way it's it is safe storage, and we're going to move that over there. Now we are going to go to activator, and we are going to type in weapon rack. And the one I want is right here, the weapons rack mid activator. I'm going to click on the edit tab, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to just select all there. It's the shield trigger, so we're going to copy that. Okay, okay. And then we're going to click on edit here and click on edit again in the meshes. Paste that in there. Just like that. That's good. Okay. And okay. And new form. Check. Now I'm going to open up my warehouse right here. That I got a little warehouse I got built. And I'm going to clear that out. I'm going to click on static. And my custom enchanters bench is right there. I'm going to move it over that way a little bit. And I want to make sure I can, yeah. All right, just like that. And then I'll go to furniture, and I'm going to grab my, well, no, I'll do my containers first. So I'm going to grab my invisible container right here. I'm going to drag that in. I'm going to drop that in right there. I'm going to use my push W like that. And then I'm going to shrink it down a little bit. Just like that. I'm going to duplicate it. Put one there. Duplicate it again. Put one there. Now there'll be safe storage on the front of that there. Now we'll go to furniture. I'm going to grab my bench. I'm going to put my bench in right here. I want to go up with that a little bit. And I will put it right up about there. Now what's going to happen is that's probably going to be all right. You might get the characters going up a little bit when you do this, because they'll look like they're standing up a little bit, but it'll be okay. So we got all that right there. Go ahead, delete those. Just like that. And we're gonna select all these, and usually what I do is when I select all stuff like this, I'll copy it a couple times. Just like that. And then we'll go to my tutorial test cell. Ignore that. And I'm going to paste this in my tutorial test cell right here. Just like that. And now to get it to where you're not like going too high up, what you could do is you could sink it a little bit and it'll be okay. And let's move that up closer to the wall. Not too far. We don't want it to clip into the wall. Right there looks good. It still might be up a little bit. You can play with it before, go back and forth and check it and everything. All right, so let's go into game and check to make sure that this all works. Okay, here we are in Breeze Home, so we'll go ahead and COC to the test cell. COC 000 M9 test cell 01. And we're in the test cell. There's our custom model right there. We can open our skull storage. All three of those. Those work. And it says use arcane enchanter. And we can check that out. We'll back out of it. Now our character will, it's like I said, our character will kind of jump down, but you could play with it. You could actually redo your mesh and pull that out a little bit, and so that you can have more of the arcane enchanter marker sticking out, so that doesn't happen. But yeah, that is our custom mesh right there. Alright guys, thanks for watching, and hope you learned something. And if you'd like to support the channel, look down in the description. You'll find links down there. You'll find the subscribe star, the Patreon, and the merch store to be able to support the channel, or go ahead and click the join button underneath the video. Alright guys, until next time, remember to keep your sword sharp, don't be a milk drinker, and always watch the skies, traveler.